Hi, everybody. Well, we always hear of adults being, suspended for life from a cruise, banned for life from a cruise because they did something stupid, they got into a fight, they argued with a crew member, they were physically altercation, whatever the case may be, we're used to adults being banned from cruises. Well, how young do you have to be to get banned from a cruise ship? How about 9 years old? How about 9 years old and getting banned for life? So a family recently went on a cruise, and on the very first night of the cruise, their 9-year-old went out to explore the Carnival cruise ship on his own, unsupervised. 9 years old, probably a horrible decision in parenting, but 9 years old, went out, and by 10 o'clock, he hadn't returned back to the ship. So the mother immediately goes out and starts looking for the kid. Finally finds him in the corner where the pizza place is and is relieved to find him, and everything seems normal and everything. And okay, everything seems good. All right. There's no real problems here or anything. And brought him back to the cabin. However, while the child was off on his own, apparently he did get into some trouble, including damaging one of the machines, a major damage apparently, to one of the arcade machines in the arcade, as well as getting into a fight with one of the other children as well. And now the mother is kind of shocked to hear this. She thinks her child is wonderful, right? All parents think their children are wonderful. But she, of course, apologized immediately, and the crew basically said, look, if you're going to remain on this cruise and not get kicked off, your child cannot leave your side for the rest of the cruise. You cannot let this child out of your sight, wander on his own, or anything like that, which she completely agreed to. Okay, we're going to do that. And that's exactly what she did for the remainder of the cruise, another 6 days. No incidences occurred. But here's where it gets a little tricky. On the final night of their cruise, a letter was delivered to the stateroom saying not to leave the cabin in the morning until further instructions. Now, if I was to get this notification, I would immediately know something's wrong. They don't tell you to stay in your cabin ever unless something's wrong. Normally it's get out of the cabin as soon as possible. We need to clean it to get ready for the next guests, right? So the next day, 2 of Carnival employees came with a note in Carnival letterhead signed by the captain and the chief security officer saying that the 9-year-old child, because of his behavior and destructive behavior on board, has been now banned from Carnival Cruise Line for life. For life. Now, the kid is 9 years old. That's a pretty hefty fine, as far as I'm concerned. That's pretty shocking. And the trouble is, once you're on these banned lists, it's really hard to get off of those banned lists. Sometimes if it's just a mistake on money or something, you can get that fixed. But it's when you damage property and you're kicked off like that, that's much, much harder. Now, who knows down the road, you become an adult, 21 years old, can you go on a cruise, get this off your list? Maybe. However, the family right now has other cruises planned. And now, because of this, they'll either have to leave the child behind or they won't be able to go on this cruise. And they've sent letters to Carnival asking to have this reversed and everything. And right now, Carnival's not budging. And they're saying, sorry, no. First off, the good thing is the mother does recognize that it's her fault for letting the child off on her own. That's a big comment, right? Like 9 years old wandering around the ship by yourself. It's one thing for a 9-year-old to be in the kids club. It's completely different to let them wander or be on the pool deck with them, let them go in. That's different than just letting them go and explore the ship on their own at 9 years old these days. That's probably a very big contributing factor to why this 9-year-old was banned on the cruise ship. Now, let me know in the comments down below, do you think that this ban for lifetime for a 9-year-old do you think that'll stick? Do you think at 45 years old they'll be saying, can I please go on a Carnival cruise ship? Please?